Hey guys, how's it going? Patrick Sheridan here of Fit For An Autopsy. Currently out on tour with Unearth, Ringworm, and Great American Ghost. We're playing in Upland, California today. Had a chance to catch up with these guys and do a little review of some of the gear that I'm using on the road. So we figured we would start with guitars. So just jump right in and take a look at some of the stuff that I brought out with me. First, yesterday, I had a chance to pick up one of these RG752 Nebula Burst 7-string guitars. I'm really super excited about it. It's a very different thing for Ibanez because they generally make the bodies out of basswood, and I know everybody's complaining, oh, we want mahogany, we want ash. Well, you got your ash. They did a natural ash back with like kind of a teal bursty blue burst on top. It's got your low pro edge trim, which I know is like, the huge trim that everybody wants to get their hands on, and it is my favorite. So they got that on there. Bird's eye maple neck, fretboard rather, and you got your 5-piece maple neck with your volute, and it's got that black chrome hardware that I think really finishes the guitar very well, and it's really quite surprising how well it plays, and the performance, feel, and weight of the guitar is overall different than anything I've ever gotten from Ibanez. So I'm really impressed. And if you take a good look right there, you can see that I have some Fishman 7-string modern fluences installed in the guitar. They're super sick. They have plenty of output, lots of tone. You get that, power and punch of your active pickup, but still the roundness that a lot of guys like from passive. 3-way switch with a push-pull, and the push-pull really does take it back to like that hot passive, and for comparison purposes, I would say like JB hot distortion or like a hot 59 kind of feel, and they really do scream, and I'm really happy to be a part of the team with those guys now, so definitely check those out. So one last look over. They did a great job, I think. I want to thank Ibanez and Mike Arrigo, all those guys over there for, dropping one of these off to me yesterday. So then, because we are doing multiple tunings, I decided to go with a hardtail, which isn't normally my thing, but this is the 752 Wenge top fixed bridge. Also bird's eye maple, same neck profile, same fret radius, the whole nine. I would say this is probably the best feeling hardtail guitar I've ever played. Also has the modern Fishman fluences in it with the same exact setup as the other ones, and has a mahogany back with that same 5-piece, maple neck with the volute. And the cool thing is they did some locking tuners on these guys that, come stock. A little bit more stability definitely helps. And so we got this guy. And then we have, this is kind of like one of my favorite guitars in my collection, which gets bigger and bigger every day. But this is an RGA 427. It's Japanese and European release only, a little hard to get. It's flame maple top, natural binding, mahogany back, rosewood board, that 5-piece neck that I love so much. It's got everything that I've ever wanted from Ibanez as a guitar, and it's literally one of my favorite, best playing guitars. The only thing that I would maybe change is put the low pro trim on there, but the truth is I really like the stability of that, what is it, the 0-point system that they put in there. It really, for touring purposes, it's unbelievable. And again, it's got active size Fishman replacement pickups in there. They take this, space of that EMG soap bar size pickup and push pull, same as the other one. And this is definitely one of my favorites. And then, last but not least, this guy, which I haven't changed the Fishmans in yet. This is just one of the backups, but this thing is taking a beating. I've been touring with this guitar for probably the better part of 3 or 4 years. My wife bought it for me for my birthday, and I've had the trem pop, crack the top, but I mean, as much of a beating as this thing has taken, it stands up, tunes every night, intonates perfect, and honestly shreds. It's a 2627, I believe, is the number that this guy is. 5-piece neck, basswood body, bound. Real simple guitar, but excellent player. So that is my guitar arsenal. I have 4 guitars because we do drop G and drop A, so I have a main and a backup for both tunings. And I guess now we can move on to my amplification. Unfortunately, because of where we are and the way that the club is set up, I can't sit down and play or show you my full rig because we're loading on, because the stage is kind of small tonight. But I recently, let's start with the pedals. I simplified my rig real good for this run because I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So 805 is real popular. Everybody's using it right now. I'm a huge fan of it. It really does rip, and I know I recently switched from Duncan to Fishman, but this pedal really does stand up, and I enjoy that piece of gear from Seymour Duncan a lot, so I back it. And you just got your noise suppressor. I'm using Duncan Vapor Trail just for a little added depth and some texture. I know the fancy guitar guys like that term, and simple polytuner. And that's it. Literally, that's all I'm using on the floor, and it's really all I need for this tour, so I'm running that. But I stopped by Mesa Boogie the other day and got an opportunity to check out one of these amps that I'm about to show you, and the guys over there were gracious enough to bestow one on me and let me run it around the country for a while, and I'm really excited about it. It is the new Signature Series John Petrucci Mark II-C monster amplifier. Now I know it looks small, but it's got all the power of every single Mesa Boogie amp that I've ever tried. It's very similar in look to the Mark V, but if you take a closer look, you'll see that it's got 2 independent EQs, which are switchable and usable for every channel. Basically, I share 1 and 2 with the first EQ, and then the 3rd channel has got its own independent. Live, I really only use the 3rd channel. I know it looks super intimidating, but the truth of the matter is that if you look at it as 3 separate amplifiers, it's a much easier thing to work. You basically figure this is a separate amp here, right there, and then there. Each one of these sets of knobs is a complete separate control for a channel. So, and then you can use your 5-band as a way to modify the tone on all of that stuff. So it's definitely really cool, sounds great, hits hard, it's super powerful, and I can't get enough of this amp. I know everybody says, it's for John Petrucci, it's for prog guys, but the truth of the matter is that it does everything. You can get your glassy clean tones, you can get your, rock Fender, kind of little heavier crunch kind of tone, and then it gets to the point where there's so much gain that it's almost unnecessary. So I'm really stoked to be running this thing and getting a chance to continue to prove that the Axe Effects is cool and the Kemper is cool, but for me and for a lot of guys, tube amps are still the way to go. I'm really a fan of having that punch on stage, and I'm definitely excited to work with this, and the guys at Mesa take great care of us. So if you get a chance, please check that out. Phone call, and you have it. So when you have that ability, it's easy to know what you like and what you don't like.
I feel like I would get option paralysis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's probably a lot more focused than I am.